The day I lost my job at Morris and Associates, my sister Amanda called me. She wasn't calling to ask if I was okay. No, she called to make fun of me, just like she always did. For the past 15 years, Amanda had made it her mission to compare her success to my failures. She never missed a chance to remind me that she thought she was better than me. Seriously, Thomas? Fired again? She sneered over the phone. Is this like the third time in 2 years? I held the phone away from my ear for a moment and looked out the big window of my office high above Manhattan. I was 48 floors up in a fancy building, and the city sparkled below like a giant game board. Actually, Amanda, I said quietly, I didn't get fired, I resigned. She laughed, a cold, sharp sound that cut right through me. Yeah, right, like anyone quits a 6-figure consulting job in this economy. You're pathetic, can't even admit you failed. If only she knew the truth. The job at Morris and Associates was just a front, a cover story. It was there so my family would think I was just another ordinary worker, a corporate drone. Meanwhile, I was building something much bigger, something secret, something powerful, in the background. Whatever helps you sleep at night, I said calmly, watching my own reflection in the glass. I was 34 years old, dressed in a sharp charcoal suit that made me look younger than I really was. No one would guess I actually controlled a huge investment empire worth billions, and that's exactly how I wanted it. Amanda wasn't done. Don't expect any sympathy at my engagement party next month, she said, her voice dripping with scorn. I won't have you embarrassing me in front of Jonathan's family. You know, actual successful people. Jonathan Williams, Amanda's fiancé and a rising star at Peterson Global Investments. The irony almost made me laugh. I wouldn't dream of embarrassing you, I said softly. Good, and this time, dress properly, no more of your cheap suits. Jonathan's dad is bringing the CEO of Peterson Global. Try not to look like the family failure. I looked down at my Tom Ford suit, which cost way more than Amanda made in a month. I'll do my best.
After she hung up,
I sat still for a long time, thinking about everything that had led me to this moment. 15 years of careful lies and hiding. I let my family believe I was struggling, while I quietly built an empire no one knew about. It all began in college. I created a computer program that could predict market trends, while Amanda partied her way through business school. I raised money, made important connections, and built something amazing. By the time I was 25, I was a billionaire. By 30, I owned Peterson Global Investments, but no one knew it was me. I hid behind layers of shell companies. The board only knew about a mysterious chairman who got results. I kept working ordinary jobs as a disguise. It was easier that way. No one expected anything from me. No one asked for favors or connections. But now, as I watched the sun set over Manhattan from my office, I wondered if it was time to reveal the truth. Amanda's engagement party would be the perfect place. What she didn't know was that Jonathan, her fiancé, worked for me. He reported directly to me, though he'd never met the real chairman. My phone buzzed. It was Jonathan. Sir, he said nervously when I answered. I just found out, my fiancée is your sister. Yes, Jonathan, I said with a small smile. Quite the coincidence, isn't it? I had no idea. Sir, she talks about you sometimes, but she doesn't know. That's because she doesn't know. No one in my family knows, and I plan to keep it that way, at least until the engagement party. Of course, sir, but what should I do when I see you there? I thought about Amanda's years of teasing and trying to show off. Just act natural, Jonathan. It'll be an interesting evening, for sure. After we hung up, I looked out the window again. The city lights were turning on, one by one, like pieces on a chessboard moving into place. In the weeks before the party, I watched from afar as Amanda planned her big night. Our parents called me often, telling me about the plans, their voices tight with worry when they asked about my job. Your sister's fiancé is very successful, Mom said during one call. Maybe he can help you find something stable. I laughed quietly. If only they knew that Jonathan's job depended on me. I'll think about it, I said. On the day of the engagement party, the sky was clear and cool. I stood in my closet, thinking about what to wear. I picked a midnight blue suit made by Brioni. If I was going to reveal the truth, I might as well look the part. I checked my Patek Philippe watch, worth more than Amanda's car, and felt ready. I arrived at the fancy restaurant right on time. Amanda was there, glowing in a designer dress, and Jonathan looked nervous by her side. Oh, Look who actually showed up, Amanda said loudly when she saw me, and wearing something from Men's Warehouse. How fitting. Her friends giggled. Jonathan looked like he wanted to disappear. Congratulations, Amanda, I said calmly. Jonathan. I nodded to Jonathan, who could barely meet my eyes. Still unemployed? Amanda asked, trying to make me look bad in front of everyone. I heard Morris and Associates finally got tired of carrying dead weight. I smiled. I could see the crowd listening now. Some were executives from Peterson Global, who knew exactly who I was. Their faces showed shock and curiosity. Something like that, I said. Poor Thomas can't even keep a job, Amanda announced, making a big show. Thank God Jonathan has actual business sense. Not everyone can be a success like him. Then it happened. One of the Peterson Global board members came over and greeted me as the chairman. Jonathan's face went pale. Chairman Peterson, he said quickly, I had no idea you were. Amanda dropped her champagne glass. It shattered loudly on the floor. The room went quiet. I smiled. The game was about to begin. The silence seemed to stretch forever. Amanda's face changed from confident to shocked as she tried to understand what she had just heard. Around us, the guests froze, mid-sip, mid-sentence. Chairman, Amanda stammered, her face turning white. What is he talking about, Jonathan? Jonathan looked trapped between two impossible choices. Sweat ran down his forehead. Amanda, I can explain. Actually, I said softly, I think I should explain. I faced the room, noticing the mixture of surprise and respect on the faces of my executives. For those who don't know me, I'm Thomas Peterson, the chairman and majority owner of Peterson Global Investments. Whispers filled the room. I spotted my parents nearby. My father's mouth hung open in shock. My mother held his arm tightly. That's impossible, Amanda said, her voice shaking. You're unemployed. You just got fired from Morris and Associates. Resigned, I corrected her. That was just one of the cover jobs I held over the years. It makes life easier. I smiled at Jonathan. You can relax. I'm not firing you just because you're marrying my sister. Amanda looked between us, her designer earrings swinging wildly. Fire him? You're lying. This is just another one of your pathetic games. Before she could finish, a man stepped forward. Ms. Peterson, said a distinguished older gentleman. I'm Richard Blackwood, head of the board. I assure you, your brother is telling the truth. He has been our chairman for 5 years, but this is the first time many of us have met him in person. Amanda's face fell. 15 years of mocking me, of feeling superior, were crashing down. But, she looked at our parents. Did you know about this? She stepped forward, her voice shaking a little. Thomas, is this true, all this time? I looked at her calmly. Maybe we should talk somewhere more private, I said, motioning toward a smaller room nearby. Jonathan, could you please take care of the guests for a bit? My family, still shocked, followed me into the private dining room. The moment the door closed behind us, questions poured out like a flood. How is this even possible? Why didn't you tell us? Peterson Global, that company is worth billions. I sat down slowly, fixing my shirt cuffs like I always do before important talks. It's actually not so complicated, I began. Remember that algorithm I made in college? The one you thought was a waste of time, Amanda? She flinched, her eyes dropping. That algorithm worked better than anyone guessed. I used it to start trading in the markets. Slowly, I built money, made smart investments. By the time I was 25, I had my first $1 billion. My father's voice caught. $1 billion? I nodded. Right now, my net worth is just over $12 billion. Peterson Global manages about $180 billion in assets. My mother sank into a chair, stunned. Amanda stayed standing, twisting her engagement ring nervously. But why the fake jobs? Why pretend you were struggling all this time? I leaned back, looking at Amanda carefully. Do you remember what you said when I showed you my early market predictions? I asked her softly. You said it was cute that I thought I could compete with real business people. Her face turned red. That was a long time ago. 15 years ago, I said. That's when I decided to keep everything secret. No pressure from family, no expectations, no one asking for favors or trying to use connections. Just me, building things on my own. My father tried to say something. We wouldn't have. Really? I interrupted. Like when you used Amanda's contacts to try to get contracts for your consulting firm, or when Mom asked Amanda to help cousin Peter get a job interview. They looked embarrassed and stayed quiet. But all the times we tried to help you, my mother said quietly, the job referrals, advice about careers, and the constant criticism, I added gently, the comparisons to Amanda's success, the jokes at family dinners. My voice was calm, but inside I felt a rush of old hurt. Amanda sat down, her perfect posture falling apart. Oh God, she whispered, all those things I said to you, calling you a failure, saying you didn't measure up. I finished for her, while I was signing your fiancé's paychecks. Amanda's eyes widened. Just then, someone knocked on the door. Jonathan peeked in, looking nervous. Sir, Thomas, some board members want to see you. Of course, I stood up. Let's get back to the party. After all, we have an engagement to celebrate. I walked toward the door and paused. Oh, Amanda, that suit you mocked earlier, it's Brioni, costs more than your car. The rest of the night flew by in a whirlwind of surprise and confusion. I saw Amanda struggling to accept the truth. My parents were trying hard to stay calm, but it was clear they were shaken. The Peterson global executives, who had only ever heard my voice on the phone, gathered around excited to finally meet their mysterious chairman. Later, when the party was almost over, Amanda came to me at the bar. Her makeup was a little smudged. The confident front she wore all night was cracked. Why now? She asked quietly. Why reveal everything at my engagement party? I took a slow sip of my scotch and thought for a moment. Because it's time, I said. I'm tired of living two lives, and because, I looked right at her, sometimes the hardest lessons come at our proudest moments. She flinched but nodded slowly. I deserve that. All these years, I was so condescending, so cruel. Yes, she whispered. I'm sorry, Thomas. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I mean it. I looked at my sister, really looked at her, the girl who had once been my best friend before rivalry and pride tore us apart. The question now is, Amanda, what happens next? She blinked, unsure. What do you mean? Now that the truth is out, now that you know your failure brother is really one of the most powerful men in the world of finance, now that everything you believed about me and us has changed, what do we do from here? Her answer would decide our future. I waited silently, watching her face as she wrestled with 15 years of broken trust and the new reality between us. The secret world I built was now fully open. The walls between my two lives had fallen. There was no turning back.